Hey everyone, trying to decide what trauma characteristic I thought was harder for clients to overcome was very tricky because all of them are bad and evil and things that people should never have to go through. But I would say that witnessing death is probably one of the hardest um, psychological roadblocks that people will face when encountering trauma. Um, Especially going through the year 2020 and into 2021. Before those years, before COVID, I would not have thought of witnessing death as one of the hardest. But with my job, I am a crisis counselor that provides relief and support for people during COVID 19. And so one of our jobs is to be in the hospital providing support for the staff. When I'm in the hospital, there are at least 1 to 3 people that die every day, and I get to see the effect that has on the families and the effect that has on the staff. And the atmosphere is so dark and depressing, and you see that it has psychologically impacted them, whether they want to believe it or not. Um, Everstein and Everstein, 2006, stated that exposure to death, even brief exposures to life-threatening circumstances, may alter a person's personality structure and cognitive map. Repeated brushes with death can create profound changes in adjustment level. At the very least, coming close to death may bring about an extreme existential crisis, for example, a shift in core values. And I noticed in a lot of doctors and nurses that when they had a patient die, they their whole being changed. How they viewed life, how they viewed just the minor details in someone's life really mattered to them. They took it very personally. Um, they were once talkative and caring, and they kind of turned to being very isolated, agitated, anxious, and solitaire. They didn't want to be around anyone, and this lasted for weeks for some of them, and I got to encounter that, and that's hard. So seeing that, like, when someone dies and you see them die, that really plays a part in their mind. I know when I was out of the hospital 2 weeks ago, I got to witness my first death ever. And that affected me for the whole day, for the rest of the week. I was depressed. I was just upset. I've never been present when someone died before. And I was told and trained how to help people through using psychological first aid, but I was not taught how to maintain my own psychological composure when exposed to death. So that has just been hard. This year has been hard. This year is continuing to be hard. That being said, other forms of trauma that involve death, like you see school shootings, car wrecks, anything where someone dies, you see that there is a permanent, almost permanent change in that person's characteristics. I bet you anything that if you look at the victims from the Vegas shooting, that they are still changed and will be forever changed by that. I know whenever we are faced with death, God has commanded us, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41:10. That is just a bit of what the Bible says about what we should do when we encounter death. And I pray as we go into further 2020, we're still going to be succumb to death. We are still going to be encountered by it all around. That we need to go close to God. We need to strengthen our coping skills because we are going to be hit hard. And as crisis workers and people going into the trauma field, we need to know how to treat people that are going through trauma, because a lot of people don't know what to do, and a lot of them calls for them to be experts or deal with it on the fly, like they don't have any preparation, and that really affects them. So this is just a little bit of my thoughts going from 2020 to 2021 and dealing with trauma as a whole. I am looking forward to reading your guys' comments, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.